Welcome back to the 8th Concession. My name is Natalie. Well, I'm out here today in August to do a chore that I've never done before, and that is summer pruning in my orchard. Now, I'm on the mailing list for the nursery where I get my fruit trees from here in Ontario, and they sent around like a newsletter this summer, and it mentioned that it's beneficial for certain orchard trees, fruit trees, to be pruned in the summer. Specifically stone fruit trees. Now I have several stone fruit. I have 2 cherry trees, a sweet and a sour, and my peach tree. So I wanted to try summer pruning this year. I've never done it before, so I was looking up what I was trying to achieve with my summer pruning. Now there were several benefits for summer pruning. One is apparently when you do prune, you don't get that explosive growth that you do if you prune in the winter or early spring before the plants start growing, and they then just put on a burst of growth and you get extra growth that you don't necessarily want in a fruit tree that you're trying to keep at a manageable size. I did see that with my cherry tree here. Even though I pruned it back in the spring, or it was the end of winter, it just shot up so much that it's so high now I can't reach it at all. And another reason is you want to let a lot of light and air in. It helps prevent fungal diseases. As you know, we're pretty wet here on the 8th Concession, so I do always try and keep some airflow. And the other reason is the cuts themselves, if you do it on a sunny, warm, and somewhat breezy day, the cut dries more quickly and it's a healthier heel on the cut. In the spring, if you have a sort of wet, damp, cool spring, the cuts don't always heal as well, and you can get diseases going right into your tree that way. So there are a lot of reasons to do it, so I'm going to give it a try. I noticed some problems with my peach tree. I've picked most of it, and you're supposed to do this summer pruning after, of course, the fruit is finished ripening and is gone. I've left a few on this tree. They weren't quite ripe, but I did notice, and you might see if I pan the camera over here, there we go. I've had to put some props up on the peach tree when the fruit got really heavy, and I don't think you're supposed to have to do that. So I'm thinking I may have to restructure those bottom branches so they're not going to bend back this way when they're heavy with fruit. So those are the things I'm going to tackle today on my first summer stone fruit tree pruning. I think that overall the structure of my tree is good. I've got the main stem and then some strong branches going off. You're supposed to make sort of like a vase shape, but you can see I've got branches. This one had a bunch of fruit on it, so that's why it's kind of bent that way. I don't know what I can do to fix that. I may have to remove this branch right here, as it is just, it's coming out and down. But I don't want to take off so much that I don't get any fruit next year. So here we go. We're just going to do a bit of trim up first, and then I'm going to see if I have to make any hard decisions on some of these other branches. These for sure, these 2 little ones that are heading back toward the center, have to come out first. So I'm going to do the easy stuff first. I think over here I am going to have to take off this branch because even though it bore fruit, the fruit was hanging and I had to prop up this limb. So I'm afraid this little one has to go. You can see I left a bit of fruit on this one because it wasn't quite ripe before, but just look at that peach. I think I'm going to have to eat this one. So I've taken the last of the peaches off. Oops, missed one. But I am worried about how this one is hanging down. So I think I'm going to allow this one to get stronger and take this off here. And I'm afraid I do have to take this one off. It's also already too close to this one here. Oh, I can see that I cut it off once before. There, I just took off some of the ones that were actually hanging down. I can see this one bends again. I just don't want to take off too much. My tree will be bare. So we'll have to see in the spring again whether I feel that I need to maybe just trim it back a bit so it's not bending so much. The other thing I want to do is deal with the height, because you can see I can't reach that high. I can see already this one is growing back towards the tree. So I'm just going to trim the top a little bit. Again, I don't want to do too much. There, I've dealt with most of the problems. I can see on this side, I'm still going to have to deal with that. I'm going to do some more research to see if maybe I should just cut them off right about here so that they have the strength to go upright more. And maybe deal with a couple of ones right there. But other than that, I think it's looking good. Now, the sweet cherry is a monster. I did trim it back more to the height where I could reach in the winter, or early spring I think it was, but you can see it's just gone crazy. And I need to bring the height down a bit. I can't reach to maintain it or take care of it. So that one is going to need a lot off the top. Other than that, I don't think I need to fuss with the structure too much. It's pretty good. There. I think that looks better. At least I can reach to the top now. I can fix up the shape and do some more pruning in the winter when the leaves are gone. But for now, I think that'll make a much healthier cherry tree with the light and air getting in between those branches. The last one I'm going to tackle is the sour cherry. Now, it has a nice shape. I like how all the branches are heading up. I might just thin out a few and take the height down just a little bit, because again, it's getting a bit too high. And these trees, this cherry I'm sure is a dwarf. The sweet cherry was a semi-dwarf. So they're supposed to stay small, but they really want to grow. You can see this little branch is heading back this way, so we're gonna take that one out. Same with this one here. See how it's heading back towards the center? I'm going to take that one out. There, just a little bit of a trim to increase the airflow in the middle and just bring the top down a little bit so I can reach. It's not perfect, but I will do another small cleanup in the spring, see what other summer growth comes along. But I'm pleased with that, and I think it'll make for healthier trees. So there you go, summer pruning the orchard. It's a little nerve-wracking because I've never done it in the summer before, but we're going to see how it goes. Luckily, plants are pretty forgiving. Even trees in an orchard, they will put on new growth if I've made any mistakes, but so far they're staying nice and healthy. And if I can get the netting on the cherries earlier next year, I'll have a crop of cherries as well as my crop of peaches. Bye for now.